All right. Ah! My chair just decided to go pop. All right. So, hi, it's tea time with S.A. Crow. Yes, AJ is super excited. You will probably hear that tail go off a few times. So, welcome. Hi, everybody. Um, it's good to see you. Um, it's April. It's April. This is our. Uh-oh, hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
She can't handle her own echo.
Well, I'm sure you guys won't like the echo. I'm very certain.
There.
All right, there we go. We got rid of the echo. So let's get some business out of the way. So our author of the month is Rach D. Adams. Check her out. Share, like, post, read, all of that loveliness. Let's give a lovely support to this author, rachdadams.com. She has Ream, she has Medium articles, she has Kindle Vella stories, she has books out, she has awesome merch. The stickers are adorable. So, yeah, check that out. Um, the question of the day is up above me, somewhere up here, up there, up there. What story ideas would you like to see me tackle? This is going to be a blog post. I can't wait to see what you guys say. Um, the other things is you can get all three books now of the Fire series. So Into the Fire Inside, and If the Seas Catch Fire. You can get a free copy of Code of Fire if you go on to my newsletter. Also go on to my webpage, there's stuff. Yes, Into the Fire, If the Seas Catch Fire is about Steve and Mallory finally writing about that couple. We are currently reading Home Fires, which you can also get on my Ream. Um, and of course, I have Q3 stickers on my Buy Me a Coffee that go perfectly in my planners. Um, and yeah, so those are on Buy Me a Coffee. They also will fit in, I think, Happy Planner size as well. And I try not to make them too feminine. So there's also the astrology um, sign for the month. There's some other things for the month other than just some stuff. Also, if you like urban fantasy, noir mystery, LGBTQ stories, head on over to Anne Crow um, and find me on Kindle Vella. The story is Hematite Without Faith. Avril is a badass character. I love her. Um, and she has a stalker. And she's a workaholic who can't go to work. So, all the frustrations. So, she's trying to investigate her own stalker. Um, I do have merch. You can check out my website and find my merchandise. Um, so, yeah, check that all out. So, that is the business out of the way. Whew, all the business out of the way. Last week we talked about my blog post, which was part of the uh, Authors That Inspired Me series, which was about Anne Rice and Interview with a Vampire, which hugely inspired me in my youth. This week's blog was Navigating the Depths, Understanding Mental Health Issues that authors face, like rejection, imposter syndrome, and things like that. So if you haven't read that yet, check that out. There's some great tools and tips in there and how to handle that, and to let you know that you're not alone. And one of the things that really helps with that is having a network of support. And one of the big ways for authors to get a network of support where people who actually understand what you're going through, what what imposter syndrome feels like, what rejection feels like, um, what it feels like to have, writer's block or anything like that, is to find a writing group. So, my next blog post will be on um, talking about other writing groups. I already have one for On the Wings for Writers, which is a safe space. And that is my writing group that we have on Discord and Facebook. Um, Link is down below. But I want to talk about other writing groups. So if you are a member of a writing group and you would like me to review your writing group and spread that word, I would love to. So just message me any way you like to message, in the comments or a community message or something like that. I'm looking for writing groups to talk about so that way people have more options for writing groups. Because you can belong to more than one writing group. It's okay. It's all right. You're not cheating. But having more people who understand your plight and what you're going through is a huge asset. So I highly recommend finding a writing group of some sort. And if you need more than one, get more than one. But yeah, so, oh my goodness. Today's writing prompt has already started a funniness. Today's writing prompt was 1975, which was 3 years before I was born. And Jen was born before 1975, but not that far before. Not that far before. But one of our posts, somebody posted on the Discord the Jaws poster because it came out in 1975. I do remember watching Jaws 1 and 2 when I was young. My dad let me watch them because my dad didn't censor anything from me. So, if I watched a scary movie with him, he was like, well, that's on you. um, let's see. The eclipse is happening in my area today. I don't know if we're actually going to get to see it, if the clouds will break long enough for us to actually see it. But we do have glasses. Uh,
Destiny.
my roommate works for UTA, and she got us some glasses. Whether we're going to get to actually see that or not, I don't know. But yeah. Uh, let's see. What else is going on? So I have an interesting thing that I have done. It hasn't panned out yet, but I'm not giving up on it. But I want to talk with you guys about it because I thought it was an interesting idea. Um, Now, I know a lot of authors are role play gamers of some sort. You've either played D&D or you've played some other role play game, whether it's Palladium or White Wolf or some of the others I can't think of right now. Jen,
What?
other role play gaming,
Palladium,
Palladium, White Wolf,
D&D,
D&D,
uh,
Pathfinder.
Pathfinder, um,
We're ranking them.
Spelljammer, that's part of D&D.
That's part of D&D, yeah.
Shadowrun.
Shadowrun. So a lot of y'all have done some form of role-play gaming of some sort. Some of y'all are actual gamers that play like computer games or console games or things like that. Because in my Sunday sprint, someone said other than reading, they get their inspiration from movies and video games. Which I highly understand because I've watched other people play video games, especially in my own home, and laughed my head off at them as they tried to. They were playing a horror game, and it was a very big living room, and they were in a wheelie chair, office chair, and they were playing a game. I think it was Dead Space.
Yes.
It was Dead Space, and they somehow thought that if they pushed themselves across the floor, that they would somehow avoid the monster's tentacle. I think it was tentacles, wasn't it?
I have no
I think
idea.
it was tentacles or something. That somehow they would avoid the monster. I don't know if they thought the character would avoid the monster or if they thought they would avoid the monster. But they rolled and screamed. And I know that Jen and I were losing it. Just losing it. But I used to help, we used to also help that person play, oh, what's the one with the big daddies?
Bioshock.
Bioshock. And we would like look for stuff. Like Jen was like, that mannequin wasn't there before when you looked last time. There's a new mannequin. I don't think it's a mannequin. So yeah, that was hilarious. A lot of fun. But back to what I'm trying to say is that with my urban fantasy, I really wanted to break my world building before I start to really publish the first novel, because I could change things if need be. And so one of my ideas was to run an RPG using Palladium, um, Palladium's, um just a mix of Palladium games like BTS, Beyond the Supernatural, and Palladium Fantasy, and that kind of thing. You know, kind of a comics and a little bit of riffs, maybe even, um, to playtest the world building and the magic system and see if my friends could break that. So yeah, it hasn't caught on quite yet because my friends have been busy. But I would love to open that up to a few of my gamers on Discord. So if you're a writer and you like urban fantasy and you're interested in maybe playing a roleplay game to test out my world building, join On the Wings for Writers because I'm thinking about sending out an invitation soon. And it's going to be a text-based RPG. Um, so like some of you probably won't know this, but some of us that are older will. Kind of like in the billboard system of the internet way back in the day before AOL, right? Before AOL,
Yeah.
yes. Before you got mail, there was the billboard system, and it was basically a text-based chat room where you would write something, and then people would sign on, and they would. It was like Reddit. It was like Reddit, but slower because yeah. And this was back in the day when you would take up a phone line and you could only be on for so long because other people needed the phone line. I mean, I didn't use the billboard system, but I remember we went with internet companies that were not AOL, and you had a time limit. Like you paid for so much for the month. And so you would sign on and there was a little timer up at the top corner that had your amount for the month, and it would be counting down every time you were on, and no one could be on the house phone. Yes, back in house phone days when your phone was tied to your house and you had an answering machine and you went out and about in the world. You didn't have a little computer and spam calls, you know. Yeah, that's that's the part of me. It's like you get these people like, why didn't you answer me right away? It's like, because I left my phone in the other room. Yes, but don't you have it on you all the time? Like, no, I don't take my phone into the bathroom. That's my time. I don't want my phone in the nasty bathroom. Leave a message. Text me. I was once tied to my phone. Um, We're about to get into some story time into my past. Um, I was in a relationship and with a truck driver, and this was a long relationship. And I was in the bathtub taking a nice long soak. I had Dean Martin playing on my, CD playing on my radio, and yeah, CD. Um, so I was listening and singing along to Dean Martin. If you haven't heard Dean Martin, he was part of the Rat Pack. I absolutely love Dean Martin. Um, I actually like him better than Frank Sinatra. Um,
Back before classic rock.
yes, back before classic rock. I have a very wide music base, so you can get classical music and hard rock and Korean K-pop. Like you never know what you're gonna get with my music when I hit shuffle. Um, so I was in the bathtub and I didn't have my cell phone in the bathtub. Why? Because I didn't want my cell phone to accidentally fall into the bathtub. So my cell phone was in the bedroom, and I was like, I'm taking a bath. This is me time. So it rang a few times, and I was like, okay, no worries. I'll call them back when I'm done. It escalated to the point where he called my friends. He called my phone 6 times. He called all of my friends to find out where I was and why I wasn't answering my phone. They, of course, then called me. So by the time I got out of the bathtub, I had so many messages waiting for me that it was crazy. And so I had to apologize to my friends and then had to apologize to my partner for not having my phone in the bathtub and not answering my phone right away. And so I literally was tied to my phone at all times until I left that person. And then my best friend was a little upset because I would just leave my phone laying somewhere. And I was felt so liberated not to be tied to my phone. But my best friend was like, I've been trying to contact you. I was like, I'm sorry, I left it in the living room. And she's like, I know, I understand. You feel liberated and you don't have to keep it with you, but I wanted to talk. I was like, I'm so sorry. So yeah, I kind of yeah, but I have no idea why I went there. I've lost my train of why I went there. I don't know. I don't know. Was it the internet thing? Oh yeah, because you had to have a phone line tied up for the internet back then. Yeah. Sorry, that was a tangent. That was weird. Oh gosh. So yeah. Like I said, if you like role playing and you like urban fantasy and things like that, join the writing group. I will be sending out an invitation for people who might want to role play in my game, in my world. So I created the world. It's based in the 90s, and
Where
the
cell phones were bricks.
yes, where cell phones were bricks. Um, well, cell phones went from bricks to starting to become a thing. Um, and then, yes, bricks, like literal, like this big. And yeah, they were huge. They were massive. They were originally designed for truck drivers. And so they were originally designed to be in a car or in a vehicle and plugged into the um, battery system of the vehicle. And so a lot of people had them in their cars. And then they started to get smaller and smaller and smaller. And then now they've gotten bigger and bigger and bigger again. As we want a screen we can see. ah, uh, life really, right? Okay, so I think we are ready for reading time. Oh, I'm gonna put this up here, up above my head. There we go. All right. We are on chapter 3 of Home Fires. So, a week later, Tony pulls up to the curb of the house at the same moment as the delivery van. The delivery of the spice started the venture. Waving to him, I sign for the package as he comes up the front steps. The infamous seasoning that got me into so much trouble. I brandish the parcel when Tony is close enough. Did you talk to Travis? We talk over how things went with Travis and I don't feel like our talk resolved anything the other night. Travis has been away from home more recently. I don't mention my fears of what this means. I recognize he's wrapping up filming of the show before the holidays, but he seems more inaccessible. Shaking off my worries off, I focus on feeding my friend and pumping him for information. I've tried one of your mom's recipes. Tell me how I did. Oh, my Lord, deliver me. He puts his hand on his flat stomach and follows me into the kitchen filled with the pungent aroma of garlic and tomatoes. I'm going to have to work out more. Takes a seat on the stool at the island counter, and I plate up lunch for us both and take a chair next to him. Waiting for him to have the first bite, and his moan of pleasure makes me smile. I love feeding people. Oops. Feeding people more than anything else in the world. Taking a bite, I do the same moan as of my own. After a while of eating, he pushes his plate back and wipes his lips on a napkin. That was amazing. You did my mom proud. I glow with pride at his compliment. Putting my hand on my heart, I'm touched by the compliment. I walk our plates to the sink and pull out a platter of cannoli. Oh God, you're going to kill me. Then he laughs but grabs two with a smile. So what did you find? I asked, chagrined. The soup kitchen is clean. I'm intrigued. I'd like to help too. How does this weekend sound? I'd like that. Maybe Travis will go with us. I stare at the cannoli on my plate. My desire for the dessert is long gone as my doubts return. You know I'm always here for you. His voice is calm. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that you're Travis's friend first, so it means everything that you listen to my worries. You too can work through this. I've seen what you can survive. My memories take me over. I remember Travis in this very kitchen bleeding out on the floor and Amanda's life draining out a few feet away from us. I shiver at how close we came to losing him that day. A few centimeters in one direction, he would have bled out beside his publicist, instead of nursing a shoulder wound and searching for a replacement guitarist for the band's upcoming tour. That's what is taking up his time, the tryouts for the guitarist, right? I blurt out, and it takes a moment for Tony to catch up and answer me. Yeah, they have it to just a few options. I take in a feeling of hope that lights up my chest. True, we haven't been talking much, but he's super busy filming and planning the tour. I give him a genuine smile, the first I've had in days. Sadly, that feeling dies after a few days later. Travis declines the invitation to join Tony and I at the soup kitchen, claiming he has a project he needs to take care of over the weekend. To cover up my worries, I go forward with my cooking channel without discussing it with him, making plans and gathering recipes. After finding a design creation application on the web, I create logos and thumbnails. Everything is coming together, finally. I've named the show Raven's Cookbook. It'll need a few pieces of equipment, but I'll start by using the camera on my phone. Lighting in the kitchen might be a problem, but I can manage. I take the plunge and set up the profile on the streaming site. I get into the zone of working on making everything perfect. Voices break into my zen, and an ache in my lower back lets me know I've been bent over my laptop for I find out hours. Travis and Nash come into the kitchen while I try to stretch out the kink in my back. How are you doing, Raven? Nash asks as he searches around, his eyebrows drawing together and rubs the back of his neck. I'm doing great. Stiff, but getting stuff done. I minimize the website as Travis comes over to give me a hug and a kiss. His eyes narrow as he looks at the computer and then at me. He frowns and I feel his upset energy along my body. I haven't left the house alone, I promise, I say to him. He flinches back at my outburst of venomous. You'd like to do what he'd like to do for dinner, he asked disjointedly, having trouble finding the right words to ask me what's going on. I'd normally have food ready, and the smells would fill the house with delicious spicy scents. I'll order something to be delivered. I have this work to do still. At the fridge, I pour myself a glass of juice and down it. Travis and Nash tilt their heads to the side and purse their lips. And it'd be funny if I wasn't so confused. It's not the first time I've ordered out, guys. Yeah, but it's rare, Nash trails off. I got it. I pick up my cell phone and call a local restaurant and place an order while Nash heads off to his suite. It used to be my room when I first moved in as Travis's personal chef. Those were simpler days. I didn't have to worry over career choices and whether Travis would leave me. Biting his lip, Travis motions towards stairs leading to the lower level that holds his sound studio and game room. Yeah, I'll let you know when dinner gets here. Then I pull out my chair and get back to work. Yeah, trouble in paradise. Ooh. Dun dun dun. Well, I hope you guys have a fantastic week and it's full of interesting things. I can't wait to find out what story ideas you would like to see me tackle. This is going to be a blog post, so I will post who said what. So, yeah, let me know in the comments or send me a message. So, I can't wait to see what you say. I hope you have a fantastic time. I will be back Friday morning at 9 a.m. Central Time for the US people. Can't wait to see you. Bye.